All right, good evening, gents, and welcome to today's Safeoclock Health and Safety Interactive Workshop. It's a pleasure to have us again this week. Without wasting much time, we'll start with our brief presentation, as we usually do, and we'll end the segment with contributions from the participants. Today's topic is safety in building construction. So, from the series we started about 4 weeks ago, we are looking at safety in different industries and in different parastatals. So today we are talking about safety in building construction. And my presentation I'll start with looking at some of the importance of safety in building construction. I'll look at the benefits or the rudiments of safety plan for building construction. Then I will look at common hazards and risks associated with building construction. I'll look at some regulatory standards for building construction. I will conclude with personal protective equipment that are associated or that are mandatory or recommended for building construction industry. So let's begin. Let's start with the importance of safety in building construction. Just like in every other industry, the importance of safety cannot be overemphasized. It's something that it should take priority in every aspect of that industry. So in building construction is not an exception. The importance of safety ranges from protection of workers, protection of the employees, ensuring that they are safe, ensuring that they're able to do their job safely and go home safely. That is one of the importance of safety. Another importance is it ensures or it helps in reduction of costs associated with incidents, medical costs, insurance premium, legal fees. All these costs, when there is proper implementation of safety, it could be minimized or reduced. Also, it enhances productivity. Safety, when there is proper safety management in that workplace, then people are safe, people have high morals, people could be able to do their job safely, and then in turn, the organization achieves high productivity. Safety also helps in complying with regulations. If safety regulations are not being complied with, the organization could face either sanctions, they could face legal prosecutions, they could face fines. So complying with safety and implementing safety management system in the workplace will help to comply with legal requirements. Another important aspect of reason for implementing safety is to create a positive safety culture. When we create positive safety culture in the workplace, then everyone knows how to act, knows the standard of the organization, they know what the organization stands for, they know the objectives of that organization, and in turn, everyone will act in line with that company's standards, thereby creating a positive safety culture in that workplace. So these are some of the importance of safety in that building construction industry. Now let's look at the importance of safety plan for building construction. Creating a comprehensive safety plan will help to ensure the well-being of all the workers. Safety plan is a document which serves as a guide for this proper safety management for that building construction workplace. So first, it should have proper safety policy statement. These are some of the elements of a properly prepared safety plan for construction building construction. Safety policy statement, which stipulates or outlines the management commitment to ensure that the top management are committed to health and safety of that workplace. This safety plan also lists responsibilities of the personnel, people who will be working in that environment, the supervisors, the engineers, the construction managers. So their responsibilities are enumerated in safety plan so that everyone knows what are their roles and what are their responsibilities, especially as regards to health and safety. The safety plan also provides site information, the location, the scope of the job. It also provides hazards identification. It identifies some of the hazards that is expected or that is associated with that activity. It also ensures that proper control measures are mentioned in that safety plan. The safety plan also contains the emergency procedures, the actions that should be taken in event of emergency while working in that workplace. The trainings that is required, the competency levels that is required for each of the activities or each of the employees are well enumerated in the safety plan. Incident reporting and incident investigation procedures are also established in the safety plan. The monitoring, system of monitoring, the system of review of the plan is also part of that safety plan. Documentation and record keeping, how the workplace or the activities, how the documents are managed, controlled to ensure that everyone is using the same forms, the same line of communication. So all these are well detailed in a safety plan for building construction. Now, let's look at some of the common hazards associated with this activity. So first one we'll talk about is fall from height. Building construction, as we know, involves a lot of working at height. People will be going like roofing, installation of windows. So all these activities will involve work at height. And this is one of the major hazards associated with this activity. People working on scaffoldings, people will be using ladders, the roofs. So these activities cannot be removed from this building construction. So fall from height is one of the hazards that is associated with this activity, and proper measures should be in place to ensure that only trained people are allowed to work at height. All the equipment, all the tools used for working at height should be safe, like the scaffolding, the ladders. While working at the roof, there should be proper edge protection, fall arrest systems. So these proper control measures must be in place while people are working at height. Another hazard associated with building construction is moving objects, machineries, vehicles, trucks. So these objects, they pose a very significant risk in this building construction. While equipment are coming in, people must be properly protected. There should be segregation of routes. There should be bandsman. The drivers must be trained. There should be warnings. So these are some of the controls that should be in place to ensure that moving objects or moving equipment do not cause harm in the workplace. Another risk associated with this industry is slip, trips, and fall. Just like in every other construction industry, there will be risk of slip, trips, and fall due to uneven surface, due to materials littered here and there, due to maybe oil leakage, due to spills. So this could cause slip, trips, and fall in the workplace, and proper measures, proper control measures should also be in place to ensure that the risks are mitigated. Noise is another hazard associated with this activity, ranging from excavation, from backfilling. So these activities generate a lot of noise, and all the measures required for proper protection against noise-induced hearing loss should be in place. We've discussed about noise in one of our sessions, and we still have the video there. Another hazard associated with this industry is materials and manual handling. Material handling, manual handling, they are part of the activities. You cannot do away with them. There are certain objects, there are certain materials that you must handle manually. And if this becomes frequent, then it becomes a high-risk activity, which can lead to musculoskeletal disorders, can lead to lower back pain. So all this manual handling should be properly defined. It should be properly coordinated, and proper control measures should be in place to prevent risk associated with manual handling. Collapsing of trenches is another hazard associated with building industry or building construction. During the excavation, before the actual erection of the building, the foundations will be excavated, and in this process, the trenches can collapse. It can lead to injuries. People can be trapped in the trench collapse. Asbestos is another hazard associated with this industry. Many materials or some materials used in the industry are classified as asbestos-containing materials. So these materials, if the workers are exposed to this asbestos in their finite stage, then they can face the illness. So this is another hazard associated with this industry, that proper control measures, proper plans on how to handle asbestos should be in place. Electrical hazards as well, because there will be a lot of activities involving power tools. So electrical hazard is present in construction, building construction, electrical equipment, live wires. So this poses risk of electrocution, burns, even shocks, even sparks that can lead to fire. So these are some of the hazards associated with this. Airborne fibers and materials. So from excavations, dust can litter everywhere, which people, when they inhale this, could cause respiratory illness or respiratory tract infections. So these are some of the hazards associated with building construction. Let's look at some of the regulatory standards. Depending on the location where you are, I just picked some of the regulatory standards that we might all be familiar with, or you should be looking at. Now, the American Society of Civil Engineers and the National Fire Protection Association, NFPA, they develop standards which are incorporated into building codes. And these standards, what they do is that they ensure that the construction practices, they meet the highest safety level and performance. Now, the building codes are the laws that sets the minimum requirement of house structural systems, the plumbings, the electrical, the ventilation, the natural gas system. So these building codes, they specify the minimum requirement for the structures or that building. So in US, they use building codes to ensure that each building or each building being erected meets to this standard. And when that standard is set, everyone complies with it. And if you don't comply with it, then you are going against the law, and the law can also come after you. So let's conclude with some of the personal protective equipment that are mandatory or that must be used in this industry. The first one is head protection. So hard hats are one of the mandatory PPEs in building construction industry, because there's risk of falling objects, materials could fall from top, and somebody can also fall and hit his head on the ground. So head protection is a mandatory PPE that if you work in this industry, you must use it for your own safety and for the safety of others. Eye and face protection. Face protection, eye protection is one of the mandatory PPEs in this building construction industry because there's flying objects, debris, dust. So this could come in contact with the eyes and cause a eye problem. Hearing protection is also another mandatory PPE or personal protective equipment because of high noise environment ranging from grinding, cutting. These activities raises a high level of noise. So in most cases, it's restricted to the people using it or people exposed to that noise, and proper noise monitoring should be ongoing to determine when the noise level have gone above or beyond the recommended limit. Then respiratory protection also is another mandatory PPE in this industry to protect workers from inhaling harmful dust, chemicals, fumes. Hand protection or hand gloves are another mandatory PPE in this industry to protect the workers from cuts, protect them from exposure to chemicals, protect them from electrical hazards. Food protection is another PPE that is mandatory in this industry. Safety boots, safety shoes, most of them steel-toe boots, puncture resistance boots. So these are some of the, it's one of the mandatory PPEs that are required in this building construction. Body protection as well, visibility clothing are required, are mandatory in this industry to ensure that people are able to identify you from a far distance, especially in low light condition where people cannot identify you from far. So reflective jackets, aprons, if maybe sparks, fire retarded coveralls. So this type of body protections are also mandatory in this industry. Fall protection, safety harness, lanyards, fall arrest systems. So these are also some of another personal protective equipment that is mandatory in this building industry to ensure that the workers are well protected against fall from height. Okay, so this is this is the conclusion, or this is the end of my presentation for today. So thank you for listening, and if you have a contribution you can make.